yet I do not receive equality. Good morning, my name is Kendall B, and today I'll be answering the question, to what extent has young women's roles in jobs and physical opportunities changed over the last century in the United States? Potential solutions are education, committees, and conventions. To begin with, in the 1920s, the stock market crashed, causing banks and institutions to close. This era was known as the Great Depression, where numerous people lost their jobs. During this time, men believed women belonged in domestic areas. Women ignored this and continued to look for jobs, especially in the 1930s when their families were in need of money. Women took on jobs such as social workers, as shown in this picture, and other jobs such as teachers, librarians, and nurses. The only way a woman could advance is through special occupations for the skilled and the intelligent, such as acting and singing. Although women were able to advance, there was a limit. The myth of Sisyphus by Camus describes how there is a barrier. The myth describes women's dreams and accomplishments in the universe and what they actually receive. The myth states, rolling a rock up to the top of the mountain, whence the stone will fall back on its own weight. This relates to women as women are trying to climb up to the top of the mountain to receive the most opportunities by carrying up their struggles, the stone will fall back onto them. This mirrors the concept of the glass ceiling, whereas women are trying to climb higher to reach equality just like men, but they are stopped by a glass ceiling, not allowing them to go through, whereas men have shattered that centuries ago. Moving on to World War II, this is a time of change and opportunity for women. During this time, men went into the army and factories were transformed to produce military supply. Women were given jobs into these factories and other jobs that were necessary for the war. According to this chart by Hartman, women made an average of $13.21 per week, where men made an average of $54.65 per week. With this $13.21, women had to support themselves and their families. And with this, women had to balance out their jobs and taking care of their children. Because of this, Eleanor Roosevelt convinced her husband, Teddy Roosevelt, to pass the Community Facility Act in 1942, which created 7 facilities holding 105,000 children for the government. She also convinced the head of industries to create facilities for the workers. This allowed women to work and for their children to take care of. To get more women to work in the workforce, propaganda was made, such as "We Can Do It" by Miller. This is a picture of a lady named Rizzy Richter who looks strong but also feminine. This helps women see that they are able to do the same jobs as men and that they can do it. Although women are able to get more jobs, it was mostly Caucasian women. African American women did receive opportunities at this time, but they were lost shortly after the war when the men came back. Japanese American women, on the other hand, barely received any. This is because after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the United States was filled with fear that there was Japanese spies. Japanese Americans were put into internment camps, such as this one, with barbed wire surrounding it. Going on to the 21st century, women were able to see more opportunities in the workforce. According to this chart by Women in Politics, there is an average of 19.1% of women in the House of Representatives, 80.9% of men in the House of Representatives, and 21% of women in the Senate, and 79% of men in the Senate. Although the numbers are low for women, it's still a big change from there was before. Women are starting to receive more opportunities, but the pay is still not equal. According to Pay and Equity Discrimination, in 2015, a woman made 80 cents for every dollar a man made. Women are starting to take action so they can get this equality. More women are starting to go into public universities so they can attain the higher quality education. According to Hartman, in this chart, there is 56.4% of women in public education in 2015, and there is 43.6% of men in public universities. This shows that women are trying to take action to get the higher quality education so that they can receive higher quality jobs, which will also give them a higher quality pay. Solutions. Possible solutions to this problem is the education of younger generations. calls for this can be done through the creation of TV programs or school programs. An example would be if there's a man and a woman in a TV show, such as Lawyers, receiving $100,000 per year. This shows younger children that men and women are equal. The consequence of this solution is that it will not fix the current generation. And the current generation will continue to express how women are not equal, and the pattern will continue. Another solution is the committees and conventions. This can be placed all around the United States to help educate men and women all over and do activities that help everyone realize that women are equal. The consequence of this solution is that it won't convince everybody that women are equal, but this is the most effective solution overall because it will convince state and federal governments to pass laws about equality and to punish those who do not abide them. Women deserve equality. It has been their time for a while. They deserve equal jobs and physical opportunities because after all, women's rights are human's rights and human's rights are women's rights. What are your questions?
All right, 2 questions for you. First up, how valid and reliable are the sources that you use, and then how do you know they were?
The sources I use sources like Khan Academy and the Equity and Discrimination, and they're valid because they had authors and they're updated sources for the information.
All right, and next question. What advice would you have for others that are considering doing research on this topic?
For others considering doing this research on topic, I would give them advice to stay on a specific area of women's equalities, like I did physical and job opportunities, and to really see the solutions that they believe would be most effective for women, since there is still inequality today.
All right, cool. Thank you.